see it from here. There's snow-capped mountains over there. Welcome to an industrial estate on the outskirts of Toulouse. Good afternoon from central Barcelona. I've just had lunch. I've spent 4 days enjoying this incredible city with a group of friends of mine, and now I'm getting ready for, just see the Bonneville there, tent and everything packed up. I'm getting ready for the return trip. Now, last time I went the whole way through France. This time I'm going to do it slightly differently. My plan is to go through a country I don't know if I've ever been to, and that's Andorra. So that is 3 hours away from here in Barcelona. I have again turned toll roads off. After Andorra, I have no idea where I'm planning to go. I literally just had a look 5 minutes ago while having lunch and decided to go to Andorra. Apart from that, I will be, of course, wild camping with the wingman of the road. But before I head off, I'll tell you a fun story. Because you may remember at the end of the last video, I said that an Irishman pulled me over at a service station in Spain. And he said he's so embarrassed that he's lost his credit card and that every single other adult in that car had also lost their credit cards. I, of course, told him, absolutely not, you won't get a penny from me. And I waited till he left before I went to the loo because I didn't trust him. I got back from the loo, jumped on the bike, rode off to Barcelona. And the next morning in Barcelona, I went to my bag just to do a bit of work. So I opened my bag, went to get my laptop out. Where's my laptop? My laptop's been stolen. My laptop was stolen on the way down to Barcelona, and my guess is it must be from that man at the service station. It's really my fault. I got complacent. I didn't lock my backpack. I just strapped it to the bike thinking it would be safe, and clearly they took it. But that's my fault for my stupidity. So I am now one laptop light, at least on a positive note. Now I've reduced some weight on the bike, but joking aside, yeah, it's beyond annoying, that's the truth. So my laptop, it was stolen. It just shows you can't be complacent, you have to lock stuff. I've got lockable panniers and I stupidly left my laptop in my rucksack, just strapped to my bike with no lock. It's painful. Right, it's okay, I've gotten over it. It was an oldish laptop, it's okay, it's not the end of the world, and I don't store anything on it. I'm about to head off now. I am ridiculously excited. Andorra, here we come. Well, I could have been in Andorra now, but instead I'm 80 kilometers away because I just cannot stop stopping. This is now the third little Spanish village I've had to stop in. And the great thing about not being under any strict time constraints, I can take my time, I've got no ferry, no accommodation booked. It's just, I can stop off in more places and enjoy more of the scenery this time back. And this is now the third village I've stopped at, and they are all stunning. I thought I had to film one because they're usually nestled on hilltops overlooking the incredibly dry, arid scenery, and they're all stone built. And they're all stunningly beautiful. I mean, I'll flip the camera in a second, but just to give you a quick 360 of where I am. Beautiful church there, stone built buildings here, and then there, a fort right on the top of the little village. Stunning place. I genuinely get the feeling in this little village that no more than 3 people live here anymore. There's just no sign of life. There's 1 car in the village. And a lot of these buildings, I've just realised, they're empty shells. Just inside the ceilings have collapsed. That one, this one, that one over there. Just completely empty shells everywhere. It's fascinating. I guess everyone has to leave for the cities to make the money, and it's hard to actually get people to stay in these areas. Stunning place. Looks beautifully preserved, but then when you actually get into the town or the village itself, you realise a lot of the buildings are actually shells. Is the Pyrenees mountain range. That is 70 kilometers away, and that's the mountain range that separates Spain and France. And right in the middle of the Pyrenees is the tiny country of Andorra. That's where I'm heading, and that is the 6th smallest state in Europe. Population 77,000 with a landmass of around 468 kilometers. That's it. Official language, and I didn't know this, it's Catalan. What a view to get there. Welcome to the threshold of Andorra. This is the southernmost tip of the country, and I have been amazed by the amount of high-end cars and luxury motorbikes that I've seen coming past here in the past hour, all with Andorran plates, back and forth. So after a little bit of research, I found out that Andorra has above average salaries in Europe, and apparently it's got a top 15 GDP per capita in the entire world. It's also got VAT rates of just 4.5%, so you get the Spanish and the French coming in here to buy the luxury goods. I made it to Andorra. I parked my bike up a couple of minutes away, and I'm now in what I think is the heart of, or at least the commercial heart of the country. You can see a huge mountain range behind me, and this side, exactly the same, a mountain range. I think pretty much the whole country is surrounded by almost sheer cliff mountain ranges on every single side. I'm surprised at how busy it is. It's a Sunday evening, and it's actually quite bustling considering it's such a small country. So fingers crossed I can find somewhere to eat, and then I've got to find somewhere to camp up for the night. big mistake yesterday. I left it way too late to try and find somewhere to camp, and the problem with Andorra is it's surrounded on every single side by almost sheer mountainsides, and in the actual built up area it's genuinely quite small and built up, and there are no real free spaces. So I was riding around yesterday after eating in the capital of Andorra, which is Andorra la Vella, I think, La Vella, and I couldn't find anywhere. 20 minutes of just going left and right through relatively built up streets with no free space away from everyone that was flat. So I had to ride up into the hills as much as possible. And I finally found this place, which is literally 100 meters from the tunnel going through this mountainside into France. So it is on the very edge of Andorra. But I was so happy to find this place eventually, which is just, I think, an unused turning circle with nothing around it. And it's amazing what a good night's sleep does, because yesterday, honestly, I was semi-freaking out. This is the problem with wild camping. You don't always know where you're going to be able to sleep, and I guess sometimes, yeah, you don't always get it right, and definitely yesterday I didn't get it right. But after that great night's sleep, 6.5 hours completely uninterrupted, I now feel 10 times better. Sleep always sorts everything out. So I'm going to go back into Andorra now. It's 6:45 in the morning, find some breakfast, enjoy a bit of Andorra, and then I'm going to hit the road again. So this specific spot may not be the most beautiful. However, the surroundings everywhere are really beautiful, and it gives a good vantage point as to where I am right now. So my standard setup for the evening, wingman of the road just attached to the bike there, and this is where I spent the night. So you can see through here the tunnel there, that leads through that mountainside into France. So I saw signs saying France this way. So that's where I'll be going probably in a couple of hours time after breakfast. You can just see, well, the beautiful morning, but the almost sheer cliffs that surround everywhere in Andorra. And it seems to be just sitting nestled in a valley between all of these mountainsides around. And this, oh, look at that old car. This is where I'll be heading back down to Andorra, which really does sit in a very thin valley right at the bottom here. Just had a croissant and a coffee from this coffee shop here, and it is definitely a biker hangout, although I don't know if that's unusual in Andorra, because it honestly seems like about 50% of people here are completely bike mad. I've never been anywhere like it where there are so many bikes everywhere, but I guess it's where we are. We are bang on in the Pyrenees. You can see I'm about to head that way, but if you look everywhere around, it's just full of mountainsides. And I mean, it's a Monday morning, at 9 a.m. and you've already got bikers out everywhere just grabbing a coffee, about to head off into the hills. So my plan for the day, well, I've lost my cap, so I need to go and quickly buy a cap in Andorra centre. I've also somehow lost my bike chain, and of course my laptop's stolen. So by the time I get back to the UK, I would imagine there'll be absolutely nothing left on my bike at all, just me and the bike, and if I'm lucky, a wallet, and that's probably it. But I'm going to head off now into Andorra town centre, get a cap, and then go into France, which is about 15 minutes that way, go through the tunnel to France, and then 400 kilometres and 7 hours north to the beautiful area of the Dordogne. I could just sit there all day. I was in the coffee shop right at the back, just watching bikers coming and going, grabbing a coffee, heading off left and right all over the place. It's an amazing, amazing atmosphere here. It's about 10 in the morning and it's now 25 degrees. When I woke up at 7, it was 13 degrees, so it heats up very, very quickly. Well, I should be, in theory, just about to leave Andorra, although it's gone on longer than I expected, because I've come from maybe 10 or 15 miles in that direction. That's lower ground there. And ahead of me is the higher ground, really deep into the Pyrenees. And I don't know if you can see it from here. There's snow-capped mountains over there, and there are also snow-capped mountains over there in June. And right in front of me, you've got all of the ski resorts of Andorra around. Of course, no snow on them here, but you can see all of the runs, all of the ski lifts, because it's quite a popular skiing destination. And interestingly, Andorra la Vella, the capital of Andorra, it's Europe's highest capital city. It really is nestled right in the mountainsides. I've got a feeling this may be the best ride I've ever done in my life. Excitement levels building. Park the bike up because I've come for a bite to eat about 200 meters from the French border, and this is a ski resort, except when it's not, because in the summer this turns into a biking mecca and all of the skiers disappear and they're all replaced with motorbikers. Every single kind you can imagine. The town is just constantly heaving with every kind of bike you can imagine. It is an amazing little stop-off point, and I should be, right after this, I'll grab a bite to eat, only about 2 minutes or so from the border, and I'll cross into France and carry on from there. But before I do, I'll flip the camera and I'll just do as quick a tour as I can, just to show you the extent of the biking situation here. It is quite a sight. Welcome to an industrial estate on the outskirts of Toulouse. I just checked how far I've gone. It's 6:30 in the evening. I left at 12:30, so that's about 7 hours riding. I've covered 120 miles. As soon as I got out of the Pyrenees, which was amazing, it is riding heaven. France, straight after the Pyrenees up to the Dordogne, is flat and wet. And it's been like this for about 3 hours now. I haven't eaten. I need to find somewhere to eat, and if it carries on raining like this, wild camping will not be fun. Most of my stuff is soaking wet. I'm quite hungry, and yeah, this will be an interesting one. I'm pretty sure the sat-nav's taken me in the wrong direction into Toulouse, because it's just showed a low emissions neighbourhood. So this afternoon, yeah, it's been tough, and it makes it more tough knowing that I've got to wild camp. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Oh dear, not sure about this. Okay, I had a bit of luck. I've just been into IKEA and the restaurant downstairs was open. The main one wasn't, but the restaurant downstairs was open, so I managed to have a hot dog. At least now I'm full. I filled up with fuel, and it's 8 p.m. I'm 3.5 hours from the Dordogne, and importantly, I'm 7.5 hours away from Calais, which is the port in the north of France, to get to England. I have now decided, God, I look awful. Sorry, I just realised. Literally looking worse by the day. I have decided that I am going to have to make it to the Dordogne tonight, so I'm going to have to ride maybe until midnight. I know yesterday I did the same and I ended up sleeping on the street, but I just feel I have to do it. I have to cover some proper ground, otherwise it may be a bit demoralising, because rough sleeping is, well, let's not call it rough sleeping, I'll make myself sound better. I've even forgotten what I was calling it to make it sound better. Free camping, wild camping, that's it. God, I need some sleep. Wild camping is fine for 2 days. The problem is, this is the second night and I have covered no distance. So for my own morale, I have to get to the Dordogne. So I'm going to have a big slog right now. Wish me luck. Right, it's 9:30, the sun is about to set, and it has actually started becoming hilly. The flat ground has stopped. It's quite beautiful, and there's a vineyard just behind me, but I know I've got 2 hours riding left, probably till about midnight, maybe 11:30 or so, and I really do have to carry on. So I'll just keep motoring along these country lanes here. Again, it doesn't feel like I'm getting anywhere quickly, and I've got about 25 miles fuel left, and I haven't seen a petrol station for about half an hour. So sun will set in about half an hour, so I'm going to hit the road and I will leave you there, and I'll wrap up this video here, and I hope to start the next video after a very good night's sleep with a beautifully made tent somewhere in the countryside where I've just found some fuel. Fingers crossed. Thanks so much for watching. Please do give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.